One of the common questions we end up talking to so many of our clients about is about how to deal with job applications and job interviews when you've been arrested for a DUI. And this can happen, at any stage of the job application process. Maybe you're a student who's looking to enter the job market in a couple of months or weeks, and now you have a DUI arrest that you're worried about handling. All the way through, you might be a very highly skilled professional who's been practicing for years, and now you have this stellar reputation that you want to make sure is not going to crop up and create a problem for you. So we help our clients in a number of different ways, managing and navigating these conversations. So one of the first pain points is you may have a mugshot available online from this arrest. So not only is it possible for your future employer to do a background check with your approval, but they also may find, just from a simple Google search, find your mugshot. And that can be such an uncomfortable and embarrassing situation. So just know that it's floating out there. And dealing with these sort of mugshots, doing some damage control is something actually Attorney Ansley Celeste at our office is an expert at, chasing them down. But while your case is pending in the early stages, there are not always a lot of options to take it down. So you want to know, how can you do some damage control there? How can you mitigate its visibility? And how can you be prepared to talk about it with your future employer, or when it comes up professionally? So understanding and being comfortable with these things and being prepared to talk about them is the first and number one defense. Because of course, if you're not comfortable talking about this arrest, then I can guarantee whoever else is on the other side of the desk talking to you will also be sharing in your discomfort. So you have an opportunity during these conversations to really set the tone, but you can't be comfortable if you haven't practiced this conversation. So the number one practical tip is, if your attorney doesn't want to talk to you about this, we often work a lot with our clients on this. Find someone who does care, find your spouse, find a friend who will role play with you and have this conversation so that you can really sort of take the sting out of some of the stigma that comes along with an arrest. You can neutralize some of their concerns and speak to any future issues or expectations that will happen in court. Often our clients tell their employers, I've hired an attorney and we are challenging that charge. You'll find that depending on the context, depending on the setting, you may want to speak to rehabilitative efforts that you may be taking. That may be something sometimes a lot of our nursing clients want to make sure that we can show the nursing board the steps that we have taken to mitigate any of the consequences while we're challenging that evidence in court. So fashioning a specific response so that you're comfortable when it comes up, you can go on autopilot and speak to some of those concerns that your employer may have, or even family members or other people who are important in your life, where you're going to have that conversation with them. Preparing it, practicing it makes it perfect. Hopefully your legal team is willing to practice this with you. And if they are not, make sure you go grab a friend before getting stuck and having to have that uncomfortable conversation for the first time when the stakes really matter.